headlines.
Hello there and welcome to this edition of Weekend Primetime News with me, Shen Silva. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. President reiterates that it is everyone's responsibility to lead children on the correct path.
අපේ වගකීම තමයි අපේ දරුවෝ හරි මාර්ගයේ යවලා මේ සමාජයට වැඩදායී දරුවන් බවට පත් කරන්න.
The CPC supplied substandard fuel to the Karavalapitiya power station, an allegation from the trade unions. Oldest evidence of modern man in South Asia discovered at Fahian's Rock. Residents of Hangwala protest once again citing a water problem. On to your stories in detail now. People who have been affected by a landfill in Nitotamulla voiced their displeasure against UPFA parliamentarian Duminda Silva today. They expressed their displeasure at a discussion held at the Paramadharmodaya Viharaya in Vallampitiya.
This landfill was created by the United National Party. You are all aware of this. You must think about whether you are going to vote for the UNP at this election or will you vote for us. You must decide. Listen to me. I will stop the dumping of waste from Colombo here. A large group including political representatives from the area participated at this discussion, which was organized by the People's Movement against the Kulonnava landfill. We have not received a suitable solution to our problem as yet. Politicians who do not volunteer to provide solutions for the waste problem come here voluntarily during elections and distribute books among our children. We remained under the Provincial Council for 6 years. We did not feed off the Provincial Council. We pay taxes to the Provincial Council. Don't the people of Kulonnava have eyes, ears and noses? Kulonnava does not want the waste of Colombo. The problem here is that there is no policy.
මේක කිසිම ප්‍රතිපත්තියක් නැති එක මේ කුණුකන්දේ ප්‍රශ්නය මේ ආණ්ඩුව තරම්ම පරණයි.
This landfill shows the capability of this government. It has been 20 years. It is justifiable that the people of Kulonnava are pained by the inability to resolve this problem. As a person who was born in Kulonnava and has suffered the smell of this landfill in Kulonnava, I will continue to stand for the people of Kulonnava in the case of this landfill. The Democratic Party will remain vigilant on this matter until it is resolved.
අපි දැඩි අවධානය යොමු කරලා තියෙනවා ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදී පක්ෂය හැටියට මේ කුණුකන්දේ ප්‍රශ්නය විසඳන තුරු.
මේ ප්‍රශ්නයේදී කවුරුත් ඇඟ බේර ගන්නවා.
In this problem, everyone is saving their skin. The government must take a decision. It must implement that decision. This is an age-old problem. The people who have been suffering from this must be freed. It is the government's responsibility.
මේකෙන් මුදවා ගත යුතු වෙනවා. එය ආණ්ඩුවේ වගකීම.
On to a story that made the headlines tonight. Now, area residents staged a protest today against a rubber production factory in Tunnana, Hangwala. They demanded that the factory be removed from the area.
The protesters charge that water sources in the area have been polluted by the factory. The protesters commenced a protest march from the factory to the Pahatgama junction by a high-level road. The protesters then returned to the factory and staged a demonstration. They have paid off people at the Central Environmental Authority to say that this water is good. I request that impartial officials be brought here instead of these corrupt officials so that they can examine this and take steps to close this factory. This factory used to be in Homagama. A case was filed there and the factory was brought to Hangwalla. Now we cannot drink the water from our wells. Our ancestors drank from these wells. Now you cannot drink or bathe using the water from the wells. They have all been poisoned. The group demonstrated outside the factory for several hours and then dispersed. However, speaking to Newsfirst, an official of the factory said that the factory's waste disposal systems are in keeping with accepted standards. The water that we release from the factory into the environment is in keeping with accepted standards. We can prove this without any problem. We have all the reports.
Welcome back. Trade unions charge that a stock of fuel with low sulfur content that was supplied by the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation to the Kerawala-Pittiya thermal power plant has been rejected. They say that as a result, the CPC has taken steps to provide diesel for the power plant instead of low sulfur content fuel.
The Yugadanavi power plant in Kerawala-Pittiya was established to generate electricity using low sulfur content fuel. Trade unions charge that a stock of low sulfur content fuel provided by the CPC to the power station recently was rejected as it was of a substandard quality.
As a result of the fuel being supplied about 5 days ago being substandard, the CPC had to provide 100 metric tons of diesel, which is about 30 to 32 rupees more expensive than low sulfur fuel, to the Yugadanavi power plant via the storage in Muthurajawala. Fuel is being supplied to the power plant through privately owned fuel transport vehicles. In addition, a further sum of money has to be paid to cover the loss. This means that the CPC is being made to bear a loss of more than 30 million per day.
සංස්ථාවට මේ වෙන විට දරා ගන්න සිදු වෙලා තියෙනවා. අපේ වෙළඳ ව්‍යාපාරය අනුව අපි යම් යම් මිල ගණන්
Although various prices are put for various types of fuel, when we import fuel, we import it at the same price. I saw that the price we were paying to import furnace oil and the price we were paying for diesel was the same. A lot of our power stations have been affected because the hydropower plants are inactive. Thereby we have to provide fuel to ensure an uninterrupted electricity supply in Sri Lanka. We are carrying out this task without considering the individual power stations, the types of fuel or the profits and losses. The CEB will pay the money necessary for this.
විදුලි බල මණ්ඩලයට අවශ්‍ය කරන ඉන්ධන සැපයීමටයි අපේ මූලික අරමුණ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒක අපි කරන්නේ ලංකාවේ අඛණ්ඩ විදුලි බල නිෂ්පාදනයට ඉඩ දෙන්න.
යුගදනවි කියන්නේ පෞද්ගලික විදුලි බලාගාරයක්.
Yugadanavi is a private power station. As per long-term agreements with the CEB, when we need power, the grid management unit informs the Yugadanavi power station of our need. The CEB has never purchased electricity at higher prices unless in keeping with existing agreements. I can say that with the exception of conditions in existing agreements, the CEB will not agree to other conditions to obtain electricity. Although they say they will charge money from the CEB, it is not the CEB that will pay. Because when there is no person who can be held accountable for this, there is a group who will have to pay the price for this substandard fuel. They are the consumers and the people of this country.
Now to stories now. The tunnel that conveys water from the Laksapana reservoir to the power station is currently being renovated. Newsfirst made inquiries into the renovation, which is taking place after a lapse of 40 years.
Our crew entered the tunnel and embarked on the dangerous journey, disregarding the 5-kilometer distance. They were driven by a thirst to know. Once our crew passed the steel pipe and made their way further into the tunnel, they came across an artificial hole which had been made with concrete. The purpose of this hole is to collect the mud, sand, stones and other waste that comes with the water that is dispensed from the canyon reservoir to the Lakshapana power plant. There are 3 of these rock traps along the tunnel. This is how the waste collected in them is taken away. As the crew continued further into the tunnel, they came across another intriguing creation. This is the surge drum. This 100-foot surge drum, which has been built within the rock, is intended to control pressure in the event that the water that flows along the tunnel is blocked at some point and begins to rise. Our crew carefully ascended the drum and inspected that too to get a first-hand look at the technology that existed 40 years ago.
මේ වෙනකොට අපි මේ උමග දිගේ කිලෝමීටර් 1.5ක් විතර ඇවිල්ලා. අඩි 5000කටත් වැඩි.
We have travelled about 1.5 kilometers along this tunnel, over 5,000 feet. Something that we realized as we walked along this tunnel was the extent of the technology our engineers possessed 40 years ago. There is a good example of this right behind me. A group of our engineers who bored into this rock continued digging the tunnel while another group diverted and continued along this way. We have to travel about 4.5 kilometers more to reach the reservoir.
කැනගෙන ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. අනිත් පිරිස මෙතනින් මේ පැත්තට උමග හරගෙන ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. මෙතන ඉඳලා අපිට තව කිලෝමීටර් 4.5ක් විතර යන්න ඕනි ජලාශයට යන්න.
The difficulty of the journey was not the only reason that we halted our journey midway and exited through a doorway. The majority of the construction and renovation work on the Lakshapana complex is being undertaken by local engineers. We have received advisory support from several foreign engineers, but the construction is taking place under the full supervision of local engineers. On the 14th of January, the flow of water through the tunnel was stopped by closing it off at this location. Renovation work on the tunnel commenced on the 1st of February and it is scheduled to be completed by the 31st of March. The Canyon and New Lakshapana power stations are also being renovated parallel to the renovation of this tunnel. More on this story tomorrow.
President Mahinda Rajapaksa says it is the responsibility of all people to provide facilities for children without considering boundaries of ethnicity, religion or caste. The President made this statement at an event held at the Zahira National School in Puttlam.
The Mahindodaya laboratory constructed at the Zahira National School in Puttlam was declared open by the President today.
දරුවන්ට අධ්‍යාපනය දීමේදී
We consider it our responsibility to provide all facilities to children when it comes to education, disregarding boundaries of ethnicity, religion or caste. I believe that as children are educated, they distance themselves from narrow views and will learn to live in society. Your country is not Saudi Arabia, the Middle East or Pakistan. Your country is Sri Lanka. You live here and learn here, and someday when you die, you will be buried here on this motherland. This country belongs to all of us. It is our duty to take these children on the right path and make them children who will be beneficial to society.
දරුවෝ හරි මාර්ගයේ යවලා මේ සමාජයට වැඩදායි දරුවන් බවට පත් කරන්න.
The President also addressed the gathering in Tamil.
நீங்கள் எல்லோரும் நல்ல பாக்கியசாலிகள்.
You are all fortunate. You must study hard. It is the responsibility of all Muslims to be educated. The fundamentals of Islam are peace, harmony and brotherhood. We do not want communalism and religious division. Let us all live together. You are the lifeline of this country. I pray for your progress.
நேர மானமார வாழ்த்துகிறேன்.
The Mahindodaya laboratory constructed at the Navagattegama Mahavidyalaya and the secondary school building there were also declared open today. The President also declared open the 3-story secondary school building at the Bandaranayaka Isuru School in Wanathu Villuwa, Puttlam.
The Super Fighter boxing ring at the Datakirul exhibition grounds proved to be a major attraction today. Today marks day 3 of the Datakirul National Development Exhibition.
Today marks day 3 of the Datakirula National Development Exhibition. As of day 2 yesterday, 400,000 people had visited the exhibition grounds. Visitors to the exhibition, which spans a vast area of over 160 acres, have also visited the media zone and the Newsfirst mobile studio. Several visitors to the mobile studio also participated in screen tests. Another major attraction has been the exhibition Super Fighter boxing ring, where exhibition boxing matches are being held parallel to Super Fighter, Sri Lanka's first sports reality TV program.
ෆයිටර් වැඩසටහනට සමගාමීව පැවැත්වෙන බොක්සින් තරඟත් මේ ඇසිදිසි මාධ්‍ය කලාපයට පැමිණ ඔබට නැරඹිය හැකි. මම නිවුස් ෆර්ස්ට් වෙනුවෙන් රාජිත විජේතුංග දැටිකිරුළ ජාතික සංවර්ධන ප්‍රදර්ශන භූමියේ සිට.
National motorcycle champion Gayan Sandurwan won the sports first championship challenge at the Galle Motocross 2014 today. He won the challenge by becoming the fastest motorcyclist.
The Galle Motocross 2014 concluded at the Akmimena track in Galle. It was organized by the Galle Motorcyclists Association together with the Sri Lanka Motorcyclists Association. The championship organized by Sports First was telecast live on MTV Sports. There were 16 categories and more than 120 participated in the championship. Prasad Edirisinghe won the 125cc category, while Binushka Silva won the under 13 85cc category. The national champion Gayan Sandurwan failed to win the 250cc category, which was instead won by Deshan Solanki. However, Gayan Sandurwan won the main category, the 450cc category, and Deshan Solanki came in second.
Director General of the Department of Archaeology, Dr. Senarat Dissanayake, says that the oldest evidence of modern man in South Asia has been found in the cave at Fahian's Rock. He said that dating tests had affirmed that bones found in the cave at Fahian's Rock were 44,000 years old.
Excavations were undertaken in the cave at Fahian's Rock in Bulat Singhala, considered the largest in South Asia over the past several years. A complete human skeleton was discovered beneath the main chamber in June 2013. The skeleton was taken to Britain as Sri Lanka did not possess the advanced laboratory required to carry out a definitive dating test. Pieces of coal found in the cave were also sent to Cambridge University for testing.
The carbon samples were sent to England and we have received the results of the dating test. The furthest back we have received is 47,000 years from today. This is the oldest time frame that has been established for modern man in South Asia.
Dissanayake added that the steps are being taken to conduct further excavations at this cave.
We expect that there may be more evidence further down. At the lowest level is a rock plain. We expect to break through this rock plain in the future and conduct excavations deeper underground. We believe that this rock may have fallen from the cave roof. If we find evidence deep underground, it may lead to evidence of humanoids before modern man like Homo erectus. I think Sri Lanka will be brought great repute in prehistoric archaeology if we find such evidence.